Hey, gang, it's the summer of slots and more for my listeners in Michigan that have taken my suggestion and downloaded the Play Gun Lake Casino and Sportsbook app. Take the casino, take the Sportsbook app with you on vacation, wherever you might be. It's odds and slots and bets and games. I'm looking at you, Grand Rapids and Lansing and Mackinac Island and Ann Arbor and Detroit. Of course, I watched the debate last night, but I made sure before I watched the debate, which for me was like, working to squeeze in the third episode of Hard Knocks, which this season is with the New York Jets. I always end up like pulling for the team that Hard Knocks on HBO follows during training camp. Although I don't know if I'm going to pull for the Jets this year, but I'm totally intrigued with Aaron Rodgers. And I bring it up because I can tell you I will have skin in the game on the Jets, whether I'm for or against them. And if, like me, you like to have a little skin in the game, then it's got to be the Play Gun Lake Casino and Sportsbook app for Michigan. New users, join me now and get up to a $1,000 casino bonus back if you're not a winner in the first 24 hours. Roulette, Baccarat, Texas, Hold'em, all from the comfort of your home. That's the beauty. Wherever you are, you take the phone with you, you're watching the game, you flip in a bet. Your favorite progressive slots are there as well. Right now, a $1,000 casino bonus back if you're not a winner in the first 24 hours. That's for new users only. Casino bonus has to be wagered. Terms and conditions apply. See the website at playgunlake.com for details. Have to be 21 and in Michigan. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117. More headlines now from Smerconish.com, the Thursday edition of the newsletter. By the way, those watching me on YouTube, and if you're listening on POTUS but not watching on YouTube, you should be watching on YouTube as well. A mixed reaction to my Michael Douglas falling down attire. Yeah, I am the guy who wears the short sleeve shirt and loves it, and everybody looks at me like 100 years old, but I love it, and I'm nice and cool. I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away, drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to for people like me and people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is. I think I did right by that in terms of hitting the right chords. You know the song, right? If you don't know the song, you can't have an opinion on who won the debate. That's my view. Because if you don't know the song, then the debate wasn't for you. The debate is for the people who made that the number one song in the country. Rich Men North of Richmond by Oliver Anthony. And in fact, like the first debate question pertained to rich men north of Richmond. And it's similar to other headlines that are posted at Smerconish.com today on the crime front. New video having surfaced in Southern California from those flash mobs, or the Texas story about the guy who somebody's banging on his door, and I'm going to get to it. Don't worry, I'm going to get to it. But they're banging on his door, and it's like a burglary or a home invasion. He's speaking to them through a Ring doorbell, and then he ultimately shoots through the door. There's a whole world out there in this country of headlines that some people, including many in the pundit class, are just not in touch with. I mean, I struggle to make sure that I'm conversant about all that's going on from a different set of perspectives. That's why I have the newsletter, because I read so damn much, because otherwise I too would be in a bubble. What are you trying to say, Michael? What I'm trying to say is that a lot of people picking winners and losers in that debate last night don't know that Rich Men North of Richmond is the hottest song in the country, at least among red staters, and that it speaks to Donald Trump's constituency. Do you want the short answer of who won the debate last night? Donald Trump won the debate last night. Huh? He wasn't even on the stage. He's being arrested today in Atlanta. How could he have won the debate? Here's how he won the debate. Again, keeping in mind who was the audience for the debate. Going into the debate, and I'm going to one more time refer to the most recent YouGov CBS poll. It was Trump at 62, DeSantis at 16, Ramaswamy at 7, Pence 5, Scott 3, Haley 2, Christie 2, Burgum 1, Hutchinson 1. That's the CBS poll. The poll at Smerconish.com yesterday asked who will most distinguish themselves in the debate. And we had 22,781 who voted on that. A majority, 8 candidates plus the choice of none to choose from, 8 candidates plus none. You would think that there would be a plurality answer, that nobody's going to get to 50% plus one, but Chris Christie did. People, 51.88% of those who responded said that Christie would most distinguish himself in the debate. He didn't. And distinguish means for better or worse, like the rules that they use for the Time Person of the Year. It's not Chris Christie who most distinguished himself in the debate. It was Vivek Ramaswamy. And by the way, that's today's poll question at Smerconish.com. Yesterday, I asked for a prediction. Today, I'm asking for the conclusion, now that you've seen the debate, who most distinguished themselves on that stage. I'm voting, I've already voted for Vivek Ramaswamy, not because I'm pulling for him, but just because I'm calling balls and strikes. And it was all about him last night. It was not a circular firing squad mostly at DeSantis. In fact, the first question was to DeSantis, and then the second question went to Chris Christie, and you thought, or I thought, okay, here it comes. He's now going to go double barrels on Ron DeSantis. But he didn't. What I think is that without Donald Trump on that stage, Ron DeSantis arguably is the de facto leader because he's in second position. All the rest up until now have been, single digits. But DeSantis didn't justify that, to my observation. He didn't justify that, like, he's the guy among the other 8. I mean, did you think that he was distinguishing himself as if it's not Trump, well, all right, then it's got to be DeSantis. He justifies all the hype? No, I didn't think so. And it's not that he had a bad night. He didn't have a bad night. There were no gaffes. There were no faux pas from any of them. I thought that, DeSantis was fine. Who had a good night? Nikki Haley had a good night. Mike Pence had a good night, but the breakout night, if there was one, was Vivek Ramaswamy. I'm not surprised, by the way. Go and watch the YouTube video of me hosting, it's on my YouTube page, of me hosting Vivek Ramaswamy in the burbs of Philly. Like, what was that, a month or two ago when I hosted Ramaswamy and RFK Jr.? I'm so glad we did those events. Watch that video. The guy is really good on his feet. It's hard to get one over on him. The best exchange of the night was the exchange where Chris Christie says, hey, the last time there was somebody who said, I'm a skinny guy with a hard to pronounce name. It was Barack Obama, and you sound like Chat GPT. You know the cut, and we've played it. Vivek had a great retort, which was to say, well, then give me a hug. Yeah, give me a hug. Because, of course, we all remember that in the 2012 cycle, it was Chris Christie as governor of New Jersey who welcomed Barack Obama to New Jersey. Still, a great factual dispute as to whether there was a hug. But there was certainly, figuratively, a hug given by Chris Christie to Barack Obama. Anyway, I thought that Ramaswamy, he's having a moment, and that moment is going to continue. The key answer, beyond that funny, interesting exchange, the key answer last night was nonverbal. The key answer in the debate was if Donald Trump is convicted and is still your party's leader, are you for him? And it was unbelievable to me to see the hedging. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Governor DeSantis. I'm like, looking around, like, what's everybody else going to do? Okay, all right, me too. Except for Christie, who was like waving his hand because he wanted to be acknowledged, but he wanted to get in on the conversation. And Asa Hutchinson, who actually sat on his hands. The point is, they're still terribly afraid of that MAGA base. And in front of 4,000 or 5,000 people, they didn't want to draw boos. Did you notice the cheers from the crowd on that issue when they asked it and the hands went up? The audience applauded. That's the answer that the audience wanted. Trump remains the dominant figure among all those candidates, notwithstanding that this afternoon he'll be in Fulton County surrendering for the fourth time for an indictment. Out on bail, $200,000 bond. And yet these folks are not dissuaded. And so it becomes a battle for second position. And now to circle back as to why I think Trump won the debate, it's for this reason. Nobody blew it last night. And several of those candidates, I said this on CNN this morning, woke up justifiably feeling good about themselves. Haley's feeling good about herself. Mike Pence is feeling good about himself. Vivek Ramaswamy is feeling real good about himself. I'm sure DeSantis is feeling good about himself in part because he was all right, but in large part because, everybody, it's a bunch of sycophants around all these candidates, and everybody's going to tell him he had a great night. So who's getting out? Nobody's getting out. They're loving it. One month from now, they'll be at the Reagan Library in Simi Valley. What a fabulous place. They're not going to get out as long as they meet the criteria. Now, for the third debate, it will be much more difficult. By the third debate in Alabama, then maybe the field is going to be narrower on that debate stage. But for the time being, the field is not going to winnow. The field is not going to winnow. So all 8, if they can qualify, and they probably will, are going to be back on that debate stage in a month. And where, there's not an obvious number 2, because I don't think it is DeSantis. I think he'll probably lose some points to some of the others. Maybe Haley picks up a point or two. Maybe Pence goes from 1% to 3%. Then, it's Trump, and then it's the rest of that pack. Trump, it's good for Trump when, everybody's doing okay beyond Trump, but nobody's threatening him. Tim Scott, everybody likes Tim Scott. Everybody thinks that maybe Tim Scott is a good number 2. But I don't think that he, distinguished himself. I don't think that he broke out in any way. So how was his night? It was all right. Haley had a better night. Pence had a better night. Ramaswamy was the guy that people will be talking about. And some of you are saying, Ramaswamy, he said climate change is a hoax. The people who listen to rich men north of Richmond, many are inclined to agree with him. Don't forget who the audience is. Some of the pundits that are commenting on The Victor, they don't know that song. They're not qualified, therefore, to talk about who the people who listen to that song are most likely to vote for. That's my view. Go to Smerconish.com, answer today's poll question, who most distinguished themselves on that debate stage last night? I'm giving you a choice of everybody, and I'm giving you the choice of none. I think the answer is Vivek Ramaswamy. Again, you don't have to agree with him, but who most distinguished himself? I think it was Ramaswamy. More now from the Thursday edition of the Smerconish.com daily newsletter. Another great editorial cartoon, this time from Steve Breen, the Pulitzer Prize winner, formerly of the San Diego Union. It is about the death of Prigozhin. It is about what's going on. My God, this is the 24th of August. We're now late August. Supposed to be yesterday like a sleepy day in August. Today ought to be a sleepy Thursday in August. Kids going back to school, football camp, try and squeeze in a vacation. Instead, you've got the head of the Wagner Group apparently taken out by Putin. And that is Steve Breen's fabulous editorial cartoon today. He writes for us, illustrates for us every Thursday. Remember, you've got to be a subscriber to the Smerconish.com newsletter to look at the editorial cartoons. But then you've also got the debate last night. You've got Trump today, presenting himself in Fulton County, Georgia. Rudy Giuliani having been mugshotted yesterday. There's a lot going on. There are also other headlines in the newsletter today that just caught my eye for whatever reason. Did you ever play Ding Dong Ditch? Ding Dong Ditch? Like today, if your kids were to play Ding Dong Ditch, you'd worry that they're going to get shot. Like if they ring somebody's bell and run away. My God, can you imagine? I don't know that we had a name for it. But you know the old, put some dog crap in a bag and light it on fire. And Randy, who's helping me do my video, you're laughing and shaking your head. Did you ever do that to anybody? No. I mean, today, can you imagine putting dog crap in a bag and lighting it on fire and ringing a bell and running? You'd be scared to death that like somebody with an AK weapon is going to come out. You could be 100 yards away and they're still going to be able to pick you off. Why am I talking about this? From the Bucks County Courier-Times, a Falls man has been found not guilty of assaulting and pointing a gun at two 12-year-old boys in a case of ding-dong ditch gone wrong. A Bucks County jury returned the verdict on Tuesday following a 2-day trial for a man who'd been charged with felony aggravated assault and related misdemeanors. The police charged this 39-year-old guy last August after the parents of one of the boys, who are now 13, reported the alleged assault. The boy claimed that he and a friend had snuck out of the house at 4 a.m. to play Ding Dong Ditch, a game where someone knocks on a door, then runs away. All right, hold on. You don't go playing Ding Dong Ditch at 4 a.m. Okay, you play Ding Dong Ditch at 7:30 on a July night, all right, where it's like dusk. But 4 a.m., no, I got to throw a flag on that. You're going to scare the crap out of somebody. What if it's an old person in that house? No. Not cool. Thought it was interesting. From Fox 4, the Dallas-Fort Worth television affiliate, arrest made in Oak Cliff apartment shootout with burglary suspect posing as maintenance man. So my understanding of what went on here, and this is another one of these like Ring video doorbell things, because like a guy who's a no-goodnik knocks on an apartment door, the person inside, and presents himself as a maintenance man. The person inside says nobody's home through the Ring video doorbell when in fact he's there. So now the no-goodnik comes back with a buddy and they're kicking on the door to break it in. And guess what? The guy is inside and he shoots through the door in defending his property. I mean, it's an interesting story. It's another one of these like video has changed everything, but it's also a story that will get traction in some parts of the country because there's great video that goes with it. And these stories about crime that get shown on a loop, I think are politically really resonant. Here's another one from KTLA 5 in Los Angeles, new video of the SoCal flash mobs. Security video captured a mob of thieves ransacking a Nordstrom rack in Riverside and escaping with thousands of dollars worth of designer handbags. This particular Nordstrom rack, located at 2660 Canyon Springs Parkway, targeted twice in the past 2 months. I think the video of these flash mobs coming in and clearing out high-end retail stores are really strong material, Willie Horton, Dukakis in the tank kind of commercial stuff that I guarantee you're going to see in the fall. So while people are caught up on other issues and the Trump investigation and him breaking the law, the crime issue continues to be a very strong issue in the GOP's arsenal. Again, rich men of Richmond, he plays with that constituency. Associated Press story, a follow-up on Maui that caught my eye, just in terms of nonconformists. Those who dodged the barricades when people were being told where they could or could not exit, they largely survived. It makes me concerned, God forbid, about the next time something like this happens, because who's going to listen to the emergency folks? In deadly Maui fires, many had no warning and no way out as flames tore through a West Maui neighborhood, car after car, fleeing residents headed for the only paved road out of town in a desperate race for safety, and car after car was turned back before the rapidly spreading wildfire by a barricade blocking access to Highway 30. But dozens of others found themselves caught in a hellscape, their cars jammed together on a narrow road surrounded by flames on 3 sides and the rocky ocean waves on the 4th. And many died. Well, some who said the hell with it and did what the barricade was preventing them not to do, nevertheless survived. Heavy. But on the lighter side, this caught my eye from the Hollywood Reporter. 2 famous daughters teaming up. Sophia Coppola's new film, Priscilla, chronicles the life of Priscilla Presley from her own perspective. So Francis Ford Coppola's daughter, a very famous filmmaker in her own right, is making a movie a documentary about Elvis's daughter. I thought that was interesting. I'll be interested to check it out. Gang, who most distinguished themselves on the debate stage last night? Go to Smerconish.com and cast a ballot on that question. Enjoy as you scroll through the day's headlines. If you're a subscriber of the daily newsletter, Steve Breen's editorial cartoon. I mean, this has really come together so well, where we have Jack Oman on Tuesdays, Steve Breen on Thursdays. I do expect Sidney Wilkinson to be in the mix and a player to be named later. We've got 4 award-winning editorial cartoonists drawing exclusively on their days for the daily newsletter. You've got to be a subscriber, but subscribing, hey man, it's free. Final message of the day in terms of just hawking my wares and getting you to subscribe. Thank you if you are a YouTube viewer. We just passed a 30,000 milestone in terms of subscribers to our YouTube content. So thank you for that. Subscribe to it if you're not already in the mix. I'll see you tomorrow.